Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's time for another manga volume review. Welcome once again. This is going to be on the third volume of Game of Familia. This was sent to me by Press, so thank you Press for sending this to me to review for you guys. So if you haven't done so, go give some love to them. Check them out on yempress.com. They have an umbrella of companies and an umbrella of genres that they release, left and right stuff. So even if these genres are not for you, then there's other stuff that I'm pretty sure will be for you. So go check them out. They have anything from action to romance to slice of life to comedy to 4-panel to manga to manhwa to light novels to collectible books, and you name it. So go check them out. This is the third installation to the Game of Familia, so I do have 2 other videos out. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. It is a good series. It's a guilty pleasure. I'll explain why in just a second. But before anything and beyond that, if you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. If you have not done so by now, make sure you check out my other stuff on social media and playlists as well in my description below. So check those out. They're definitely stuff that I think is worth watching or checking out. So go do so. I do appreciate everyone who do support the channel, but a lot of you guys, according to my charts, are watching the videos but are not actually subscribing. So please do subscribe, because that does help tremendously. So okay, gosh, it is a very intense series, and this is definitely guilty pleasure. I've experienced it in high school D&D. I've experienced it with Chain Soldier, which just came out. Tales of Wedding Rings, which also just came out, and this one, which if this was made to a anime, it would be the same case, which is I probably do better reading the series than actually watching it. I've tried watching Chain Soldier and even Tales of Wedding Rings, and it's been a little difficult to actually watch them, even though I read the manga. It's graphic. It is graphic when it comes to mature content. So heads up, this is mature content. Language, nudity, sexual, and violence is what is identified as in the back, so just FYI. And this one does actually show quite a bit. In fact, I'm gonna have to be careful to what I show you here in this video, but can't even show you the first page, gosh. But it is other themes that will hit in this volume are the R word that I can't say in YouTube because they're gonna take down this video, but the R word or S-aid, and it's, if you're not into reading about that or the possibility, because I don't think, well, it does happen to one character but not to the main character, so the possibility of it, just FYI, right? Okay, so last we left off, essentially our main character Sasie has gone with his sister Manako into the world of Daba, and in this kingdom magic cannot be used, and he learned the hard way. His arm is cut off, he's losing the battle, and the king Daba, which we'll call Gambaru, is his actual first name, because there's 2 Dabas in this volume, so I don't want to confuse you guys. So Gambaru takes Manako as his slave and also the maid that she's with. Now I don't know the name of the maid, to be honest, but he takes in the 2 girls. Now essentially what ends up happening is that the person that captures her, was not Gambaru. It was Jilquan, which is Gambaru's son. Now Jilquan shows his strength not just to Manako but to everyone, and just really dominates the fighting ground. And essentially Sase leaves Burley because Monaco embarrasses herself and makes a trade-off for his life. And I'm not going to go into detail there, but it's very much like she's giving herself completely up physically to Jilquan. Now, Jilquan does show up, and when they show up, like, the people on there want to just SA'd as a group, both Monaco and the maid. And Jilquan is like, yeah, do whatever you want, but I need to have first try. And like, I can't show you these scenes, but they're pretty graphic. But King Daba, Gambaru, shows up and saves Monaco and says, what do you have there? And he basically takes her for his own prisoner, and she basically is, again, also threatened to be SA'd by the king, but her maid is quick on her feet and confesses to the king that, well, Manako can't serve her purpose because she is in the time of the month. So then she's set free, and the maid is SA'd for, like, night after night. Day after day. It's horrible. All during this, and again, it's not that graphic, it's not that beyond graphic, but it's still graphic in some ways. Monaco is also training herself, and to the point where whenever the king does show up to battle her, she starts attacking him, and this is where we see her basically attacking the king and almost killing him, but then he transforms, and during his transformation, there goes off an explosion in the middle of the city, and basically he calls off the SA that he was going to do and says that he's lost interest for now. Now, what was all this? Well, it was actually Sasie trying to figure out how the ability of no magic in Daba works, and essentially he finds out that Gambaru, the king, actually uses magic to cancel magic in the city, but he can remove that cancellation whenever he needs to transform or use power to give himself strength. Now, Sasia comes back with Hinana and the pig-looking guy, and they essentially are back to save his sister. Now, they all three of them have a plan, and essentially they go into a brothel, and Sasia says that these women, because they're the women that people just go and sleep with and have relationships with, they have a lot of information, and he does get quite a bit of information. Well, what he ends up doing is that he ends up convincing Jilquan, the one that he was defeated by him, that he can give him or help him get the throne by killing the king Gambaru, who is using actually magic to make himself stronger. So Jilquan, with the help of Sasie, confesses and tells the king that he wants to fight him and take his throne. And he's like, yeah, that's how it works here. It's just a brutal fight. But 5 other people also after my throne. So he does a royal rumble between 6 of these people. One of them, who is Manako, the sister of Sasie, and they're basically going to fight it out to see who is the strongest of them all, who will then challenge the king for their position. Now, all of them have been tricked by Sasie that they're going to be there fighting with his power or his magic pouring into them, but in reality, he's also in cahoots with the king, letting the king know that he's essentially providing them power so that they can get tired, so that when whoever wins, the king still has a chance to win at the end of the day. So basically, everyone is in Sasie's tricky, lifeful hand, and what it seems like is out of the people that end up surviving, probably Ganbaru and Jidquan are going to die. The other 4 people who are there fighting with Jidquan and Manako are also kids of Gabaru, but they have other intentions and they have other ideologies. So I feel like maybe one of them will end up as the king and ruler, but for sure not Jidquan, and for sure the king is going to die in the next volume. So we'll just have to see. It's a really good series, guys. I did left off with quite a bit of information, so that it wouldn't spoil the entire volume, but there's a lot of loops and circles around it that is so good. It is a pretty well thought of strategy from the writer, and again, it's a guilty pleasure because I really do enjoy the series, and I think the series in itself is good, for the exception that there is just so much fan service when it comes to graphic scenes here and there, and some of them not even necessary, to be honest. So oh well, it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe to my channel, give some love for content liking and sharing, and I will see you next time. Like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.